Now we're going to meet someone who, after a long time of experiencing sleep problems, he turned to meditation, which he says changed his life. And he now runs a regular group designed to help children find peace and calm at the Southfield Centre in Bedminster. So in the studio with me right now, I've got a good group of people. I've got Salim Ullah, and he's brought along with him Claudia Lopez, Tom Chamberlain, and their son Carlito, who attends the group. So welcome, one and all. Let's have a good hello from you all. You are all here.
Hello, thank you.
Excellent.
Hello.
Good morning. Salim, let me start with you to begin with. And just sort of backtrack just a little bit. So I said that for a long time you had problems sleeping, which so many people I'm sure will recognise and find familiar. So how bad was it?
Oh, it was quite bad.
Yeah.
I was waking up at 2 in the morning for a couple of years, and I'd tried various things. It started from when I was young. It's probably when I was doing a paper round, and I was getting up early then.
Yeah.
And I think it stayed with me all the way through.
So you kind of, your body got used to a different rhythm and routine.
Yes. And then as the years went on, I got to 30, 32, 33. I started trying various modalities, various things that you can try, like maybe so acupuncture, massage, running, etc.
So you try relaxing yourself, you try wearing yourself out physically,
yes.
all of those, the two ends
exactly,
of the extreme,
Yes. And then I was trying homeopathy for a couple of years. That got to the point. The person I was seeing there, he said, so I think you need to go and try this particular thing.
Okay.
And I said, what's that? He said it's called Pranic healing. So I looked it up and I found it all fascinating. And it was almost like if all the things I tried hadn't worked, this was the last thing I think that I had to try. So I was about to try. I was trying everything possible. And
you were feeling pretty desperate at this point and exhausted.
I was exhausted, desperate, and so I've got a wife and 4 children. So I was working full time as well.
Okay, and getting what, like 4 hours sleep or something?
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours sleep. I was getting up about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh my goodness!
And it was started as you start getting up earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
Different parts of your body start getting affected. So when you get up at 2:30 in the morning, that means it's the anxiety and the stresses. I've moved to your lung area.
Mm-hmm.
So originally it starts from your abdominal area. That's when you first feel the anxiety.
So you experience physical problems as well alongside that.
So I was getting chest pains. So I was entering into, when I was attending work, I had to take deep breaths.
Yeah.
Just trying to relax and approaching. So it was almost like walking to my desk. So I work in the open plan office. I'm a system and software engineer.
Yeah.
So I walk into the open plan office, and as I was getting closer to my desk, you could feel more and more people coming and looking at you. Do you know that feeling? And it's really closing in. Then you take a deep breath, and then it was a challenge just to go and sit at my desk and sit in the chair and take a deep breath, and then. So, yeah.
Wow, okay, this is it's an illustration of how not having enough sleep and a really interrupted routine can affect you. So, what's Pranic healing then? Because this one might be a new one on a fair few people listening.
Yeah. So Pranic healing is a non-touch healing modality, and it started off by Master Charles Koksui. He's a Filipino guy. It started about 30 years ago. And our director, Les Philcroft, he's an instructor for the UK and Ireland, and he started the Institute of Pranic Healing UK and Ireland. And basically it's a non-touch healing modality to help with physical and mental and emotional problems. And what it is you work on what's called energy centres, and you cleanse and energise energy centres.
So this is an idea that your body has energy around, it has in it and around it?
It has energy in it and around it. And so you may be familiar with acupuncture.
Yeah.
So we have needles we put in our body, so they're going to energy centres. So now if you take away the needles and just focus on those particular areas using your hand, so if you just put your 2 hands together, you probably feel something.
So if I do that now, like that,
can you feel something?
Yes, you do. You feel a focus. Certainly you have an awareness, don't you?
Yeah, awareness, something there. It may be something, I think, but yeah, there is something there, and that's basically what is the electromagnetic field around us, the energy centre, energy around us.
So you would learn to be a practitioner to be able to do this kind of energy work with people.
Yes, that's right. So I found out about Pranic healing. So then I thought, why not just learn it? Because it looked so interesting, and I met Les Philcroft, and he was such a fascinating person, and I got drawn to him. And I knew this was the one, so I just followed the journey through that.
And you became a practitioner yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a pranic healing practitioner.
Yeah.
So we offer healing services for anxiety, stress, depressions, so physical and mental emotional alignments.
So do you know where someone is feeling, where the problem is emanating from, or do they have to tell you? Or?
You can sense, you can scan, so if I could scan, if you don't mind.
Oh, hilarious. Go on.
I can scan.
Don't look at my crutches because I'll give it away.
So I can scan certain energy centres.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, ignore there. Whatever you just saw there.
generally we're in the studio, so generally
Yeah.
your solar plexus is probably a bit out.
Fine.
Generally it's quite good, no pressure. So you're generally quite healthy and well, but your face's colour is very good, so you're generally healthy. But naturally we'll all have our solar plexus out slightly here because we're in the studio.
Yeah.
But,
What's that there? The bit underneath your rib cage, the bit where it joins in the middle.
So that's your solar plexus.
Yeah.
So that's the solar plex chakra, the energy centre, and then obviously we've got your heart chakra 2 inches above there, your throat, ajna and crown. So these are the major chakras that we work on.
Yeah.
There's 7 that we work on, and so depending on what may be wrong with someone, we cleanse and energise those chakras in particular orders, and that alleviates problems. And so, for example, I'm working with someone with dementia at the moment, and I've got a particular set of steps I use
To help them to manage their condition.
Yeah.
And meditation is also a part of this, and this is, we'll come on to this. We'll just get an update on the travel, but we'll come and talk about the meditation groups that you have, and in particular working with children. And we'll hear a little bit more from Carlito, who's with us and has been along to one of the groups. So we'll do that in just a tick. So just stay there. 25 minutes to. So in the healthy hour of the show, we've been talking about energy, the sort of energy that your body has, both inside it and around it, and pranic healing. We've been learning about that this morning with Salim. Salim also is someone who puts on meditation classes, and in particular for young people. So you started off doing this for adults, that's fairly common, isn't it? But you and the other practitioner, Les, that you mentioned, the sort of lead for pranic healing in the UK, said, why don't we do stuff for young people?
Yeah.
And so this is your next venture.
So people came up to Les Philcroft and said, why aren't we doing meditation for children? Or we need meditation for children, something along those lines. And then Les Philcroft started off a meditational stillness for children. And that's, I think it's been run over about 30, 40 groups all around UK and Ireland now. Mm-hmm. And that's working really well. And from that, Les now has started off what's called something called Pranic. It's a 7-week mental development program for children. Okay. And it works with children and goes through various parts of emotions, thoughts.
From what age can you work with children for something like this?
So we've got a guideline of the age of 5 for meditation.
Okay.
But if there's a mother or father who've got a child younger than 5, what generally happens is they just sit with the child at the back of the group, but it's okay to do the meditation together as a family.
But just 5, I see.
In the group, that's the age. Probably because that's where they can sit still. Yeah.
Okay, Carlito, who's been listening to all of this and is in the studio with us, can I just ask, this is a cheeky question, but how old are you?
7.
7 years old, okay, and you've been going along to these meditation classes, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do?
Well, sometimes we do a butterfly exercise that it's just like your mind just you focus on a butterfly.
Yeah.
And on its wings it has all your worries, and it just in the count of 3 it just flies away and all your worries go.
That's a really good thing to visualise, isn't it? A picture with all of them disappearing. And what's that like? Do you find that helps?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you find the sort of concentrating bit?
Oh yeah, I concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like meditation.
Do you do breathing with this as well? Do you have to focus on how you breathe?
Yeah, you breathe in and you focus on the butterfly, and then you breathe out and you always fly away.
And has this helped you? I don't know if you've had to do any tests yet at school. I'm thinking it might have helped you with something that maybe makes you feel a bit like you've got some worries about it. Have you managed to use any of that breathing in any of those times?
Well, yeah, sometimes when I get a bit angry in school, yeah, I use the butterfly.
That's really good. That sort of helps you to stay calm, does it?
Yeah.
Shall we have a word with Dad to see what he thinks about all of this?
Yeah.
He's just around the corner. Hello, Tom.
Morning.
So, how did you end up sort of spotting this class and thinking it might work for Carlito?
Do you know what? I can't remember.
It came to
I think Claudia found it,
Yeah.
but we'd been thinking about meditation a little before, because I was introduced it by my cousin, who I presume thought I needed it myself, and then I didn't really have the discipline that I think is necessary to get the most out of it. But it meanwhile became very useful for Carlito, and it's true in these classes. I think we see him able to concentrate in a way that we're not often that is unique to those classes. He's not normally.
So have you seen a change in how he behaves? Sorry to talk about you like in this way, but
I think he's able. I think you're able to concentrate more, to focus more on things.
yeah.
I think perhaps I should learn something from him.
What do you think? Is that true actually, Carlito? Do you think that Dad should have a go at some of these sessions as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you told any of your other friends about it?
No, because I kind of forgot about it in school until I actually worried and I went to do the butterfly exercise.
Yeah. I suspect, I mean, Salim, you'll know this better than me, but I sort of seem to notice there are more of these meditation classes aimed at children, and I suspect we'll see more of it in schools. I mean, I see it as an after-school activity in some places, but is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, that is. So we have what's called PSHE.
Yeah.
So in UK at the moment, meditation's not, as far as I understand it, might be wrong. As far as I understand, meditation's not compulsory as part of PSHE yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in places like Ireland. So it's only a matter of time they start making it compulsory. The moment where you can sit down and just get stillness.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, such as prana mind, is what we're trying to introduce into schools in the UK as well.
Yeah. And Carlito, do you think will you keep going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you the best thing about it? How would you just sum it up for anyone? Because there are loads of classes out there, and people might think, well, I don't know whether they're any good or which one to go to. But how would you sum up why it's good?
Well, I like all the activities that we do, like the colouring in how you feel
Yeah.
after your face, how you feel, and it's and they give you a sheet
Yeah.
that has days of the week, and it has 5 numbers, each square box, and you put your happy thoughts.
That's a nice thing to think about, isn't it? Yeah. One of my friends always said, "Oh, if ever you didn't feel very happy or you couldn't sleep, think of your holidays." That was what they would say to me. But it's nice. It's good to think happy thoughts, isn't it? Happy thoughts bring more happy thoughts, hopefully.
And tree hugging?
And some tree hugging as well.
Yeah. A book.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's a book of
Yeah.
saving the world, something like that. and there's these bunnies that when they're worried, they hug trees.
And how does that help them?
But when they're sad, they just hug the tree.
Oh, and they just relax.
And it says that it gives you more fruit if you hug the trees.
Well, I like the sound of that. That sounds good. And I'm really pleased you found something that that makes you feel happy and calm, because actually everyone needs that, including grown-ups, you know, like what we've just been hearing from Dad there. So that's good. And these classes, they're all at the Southville Centre in Bedminster.
And Southville Centre, no. Southville.
Excellent.
Southville, not Bedminster.
Oh yes, apologies. The clue is in the title, is it? Very good. Still early in the morning. I'll engage my brain. Well, look, really nice to see you. Thank you one and all for getting up early and coming in and seeing us and having a chat on the radio. It's really nice to hear your experience. So Salim Ullah, Claudia Lopez, Tom Chamberlain and Carlito. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just